If you're relocating to Salem, Oregon from California, I don't want you to make any mistakes and end up regretting your move. So listen up, because we're going to be talking about the top things that you need to know if you're relocating to Salem, Oregon. My name is Clarity Odd, and I'm a local real estate broker here in Salem who specializes in relocations. Just like you, I relocated to Salem, and now I get to make videos all about this amazing city for you, my future clients. If you want to work with us in the home buying process, go down to the description of this video where you're going to find all of our contact information. Reach out so that we can help you. Here are the top 8 things that you need to know about life in Salem, Oregon before you get here. I asked my clients and fellow relocators what they wish they knew about Salem, Oregon before they got here. So these are actually not things that I wish I knew, but things that my California clients wish that they knew before they got here. Let's kick off this video by talking about the cost of living in California versus Oregon. According to mylifesomewhere.com, the cost of living in Oregon is 13.5% cheaper than it is in California. I think the easiest way to see this is really in the cost of real estate. At the time that this video was filmed, the median sales price for a single-family detached home here in Salem was at $450,000. I'm guessing that wherever you are coming from in California, the median home sales price is much higher than it is in Salem. Most of my clients who end up relocating from California, they typically have a house to sell in California, and then they're going to purchase a home here in Salem for cashola. I don't want to say anything disparaging about not having a lot of equity in your home if you're coming from California. That's no problem at all. I just want to simply demonstrate that there's a huge difference and gap between the prices in Salem and the prices in California. That gap is so dang big that somebody who lives in California can commonly sell their house and purchase a home in cash here in Salem. That is just how big that gap in real estate is between the two states. The next thing that you need to be aware of in Salem is the weather. We have overall a pretty temperate climate with gorgeous summers and springs, but the trade-off is we really do have a lot of gray days and rain in the wintertime. So if you're one of my California people who just loves the sun, I'm sorry, you're going to be really disappointed with how few of sunny days we actually have here in Salem. Now, something that I didn't expect about my relocating clients who were coming from California, they were actually really excited about the cozy, rainy winter vibes, which I think is kind of surprising. But my last 3 clients, those were all things that they said they were looking forward to. So if you are sick of the sun in California, welcome, baby. You're gonna love it up here. If you can make it through the rainier and colder winters here, you're gonna be well rewarded because the summers and the fall are just phenomenal here. We have 4 very distinct seasons here in Oregon. We have the summertime, we have the fall, we have the winter, and we have the spring. They are very clear seasons, and you may or may not know that already. But one thing that you might not have heard already is that we also have sun seasons. And what I mean by that is in the winter time, on the shortest day of the year, the sun is going to go down at 4:30 p.m. So there's a good chance that you go to work, you don't see the sun when you get into your office, and then you leave at 5 o'clock and the sun has already set. So expect that the sun seasons are just as distinct and different as the regular weather seasons that we get here in Oregon. You might be wondering, how the heck does somebody survive the cold and kind of depressing winters here? And friends, that's a great question, which is why I've created a whole entire video dedicated to showing you how I survive and thrive in the winters here. I've linked that video in the description of this one so you can watch it next. If you're liking this video so far, give it a thumbs up and go down to the comments and tell me if you are excited about the rainy winters here in Salem. The next thing that you need to be aware of is the tax situation here in Salem. You can expect property taxes to, generally speaking, be around 1%. And yes, that is going to vary depending on your county and the house and so many factors. But generally speaking, just remember 1%. And depending on your income level, you're going to fall into a certain income tax bracket. Oregon has a progressive tax bracket from 5-ish% to 9-ish%, depending on how much income you make. Unlike California, we do not have a sales tax here in Oregon, so that means any good or service that you purchase is going to be sales tax free. Whoopee! So what you see on the sticker or the menu is exactly what you're going to end up paying. The next thing that you should be aware of is the types of schools that you can find here in Salem. You can find a variety of different school types, and I'm not going to lay too heavy into this topic because I don't have children, and so I don't have any children enrolled in the school system, but I do want you to know that this topic comes up often with my clients who relocate to from California. So I want to mention that we do have private schools, we do have public schools, and overall you're going to have a lot of variety in the types of private and public schools that you can find here. One lesser known fact about Salem is that we actually have a university right in downtown Salem. This university is called Willamette University. Willamette University is a liberal arts college, and it's actually the oldest law school in the Northwest. This is a private university, and honestly, not a lot of people even know that we have a university in downtown Salem. The next item on our list is income. The median household income in Salem is at $62,000 as of the 2021 census. This is probably a lot lower than what you can expect a household income to be in California. Depending on what your current household income is, you're either going to think that this is probably more, or I'm guessing a lot less than what you're used to hearing. One of the largest offsets of that income discrepancy between Oregon and California is the fact that the overall cost of living and the cost of real estate is cheaper here in Salem than it is in most parts of California. Overall, it's about 13.5% cheaper to live in Oregon than it is in California. The next item on our list is all of the nature that we're surrounded by. Here in Salem, we have the Willamette River, which runs all the way through downtown Salem and provides us with a gorgeous waterfront park. Besides the Willamette River, we have really easy access to the Oregon coast, which just is about an hour and a half away to the closest beach. We also have great access to the Cascade Mountains, which provides us with ample opportunities to ski or snowboard or inner tube, which is personally my favorite. In eastern and central Oregon, we do have more desert landscapes, which means that here in Oregon, we really do have all kinds of geography. We have the ocean, we have the mountains, we have the thick forests, we have the rivers, and we have a few lakes. Not many, but enough. Being outside and in nature is just a huge part of the lifestyle here in Salem. So even on those rainy, slightly depressing winter days, you are still going to find people outside doing their outsidey thing. The next thing on our list is sports. I'll just be honest with you and say that first of all, I don't follow sports at all, but let me just tell you that neither does Salem. We do have a baseball stadium in Kaiser, which is just north of Salem, and pretty much they're like this, actually. They're kind of part and parcel and basically the exact same place. But we do have a baseball stadium there, and I personally have never actually encountered a single person who has been to a baseball game there. So I don't know. The closest major sports team is going to be in Portland, which is 45 minutes north, and that's probably going to be the Portland Trail Blazers, which is a basketball team. Portland also has men and women's professional soccer teams, but here in Salem, I don't know, we just don't really have a big focus on sports. So if you are accustomed to sitting out in the sun and watching a sports game, you might be kind of disappointed with how few sports and sun we get here. Before we get to the most important point on this list, I know that this is a lot of information coming at you, and I know exactly how overwhelming and stressful this relocation process is. So I have zero expectation that you remember anything I said in this video. But when the time is right, I want you to reach out to us so that we can help craft a plan for your relocation needs here in Salem. The last point on my list is that when you relocate from California to Salem, Oregon, you need to be prepared to embrace change. Salem is completely different than California. Even though California and Oregon are both on the West Coast and they're really not too far away from each other, they are such different places. You're gonna have a completely different lifestyle here in Oregon than you do currently in California. Coping with the winters is going to be really tough in your first few years, and getting accustomed to the different communities and lifestyles can be difficult here. But I promise you, we are friendly here in Salem and we will welcome you with open arms. If you take all of these tips into consideration, I promise you that the chance of you regretting your move here to Salem will at least be minimized. And hey, you already have one friend here in Salem. It's me. If you enjoyed this video, you, my friends, are going to want to watch this one next. Bye-bye.